Previously on The Business.
Let's talk entrepreneurship and franchises and the like. We've been alluding to it all morning. Kriya, I'm going to hand this over to you because there's nobody in this room that knows our next guest better than you.
Yes. So our next guest is Kavir Gangiah, and he is an owner of a lounge restaurant in Hatfield called Flair. It's in Pretoria in Hatfield Square, and he also owns a Steers franchise in Wonderboom, if I'm correct. Yes, Wonderboom.
Geez, you have to remember that. Huh?
Yes. I haven't eaten there yet, but it's a very, very good Steers, and the business in Hatfield is self-owned and has been in existence for 4 years.
Kavir, welcome to the show. It is great to have you here as our first guest in our brand new studio. How are you doing?
Well, thank you very much. Good to be here.
Excellent. So we're talking entrepreneurship and we're talking franchise stuff as well. I'd like to get started by asking you, how the heck did you get into the business of franchises? Was it something that you always wanted to do?
I think it comes with the territory. I think it comes with looking at business opportunities and so on and so forth. And in a climate that we're sitting in, and listening to what you guys were saying earlier, in a climate like that, you've got to look at investments, especially as an entrepreneur who does everything, himself without any assistance. You've got to look at investments that are going to make sense, looking into the future and looking into the process. So when I came to it towards the end of last year, and I saw the opportunity to take on a new venture, I thought, let's be a little bit more, rather than starting your own thing and going through that rigmarole, you going for something that has got a good name brand in the industry, and then franchises come in. And obviously, being a Steers famous brands is one of the biggest fast food chain in the country. Yep. So it makes an investment sense in a word.
In terms of fast food, if you like, I mean, Debonair's is there. There's Fisherways, there's Milky Lane, Juicy Lucy. There's Coffee Couture. There's Steers as well.
House
probably the biggest one. House of Coffees are there. Wimpy, Mug and Bean. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's obviously a very solid franchise to get into.
Correct.
They come with a very, very good track record. Let's talk about what was your initial investment. And I'm not talking money. I'm talking in terms of time. How did you set it up? Was the process easy? Did you know anything about food before you entered a Steers franchise?
Well, I've been in the restaurant game for nearly 10 years now. So in terms of the background, I had more than enough background. So when I took over, when I bought the Steers, it was an existing Steers that I bought, as opposed to starting out a new one.
Right.
So in that sense, coming to the first question, it wasn't as difficult, I would imagine, as sort of buying or sort of opening up a new one, because all its processes were sort of in place, being existing for, I mean, the particular one that I've bought, and there's a lot of them out there, have been open for 10 years already. So that was a little bit easier, but still the time and effort, I bought one that wasn't doing particularly well when I bought it. So obviously in that sense, it comes down to the same thing of saying, you know what, we got to push the boundaries in terms of getting it up to standard.
What are things that you have to consider when looking at either investing in a brand new franchise or even an existing one?
You've got to look at the numbers that the franchise is doing at that particular point in time. That is the most important thing. If it's doing low numbers, then you can do what I did and turn it around. Alternatively, if it's doing well, then obviously you've got to keep it going at that level. If you want to do a new one, you've got to obviously look at what's in the market, what's around that particular area, and obviously the franchise also has its own saying that, you know what, if you are a new franchisee, you go in, you go through the process, and then they choose an outlet, for you, or an area for you to put a Steers.
Has the market been tough over the last few years? We know that people are going through a really tough time economically. I think people are feeling the pinch when it comes to more month at the end of the salary than salary at the end of the month. How has the food business and specifically the food franchise of Steers handled that? Have you done nicely over that period?
Yeah, you see, I think something like a Steers. In fact, any of famous brands outlets, it's a simplicity of saying, okay, you can take a family out of four, and you can get everybody something to eat for $180. You know, so it's not it represents value. It represents value for money.
Right.
Whereas if you were to go out to a restaurant, you're looking at $180, $150, per person, So I think that's why you'll see a lot of the guys that are feeling the pinch are the independent guys, more so than the franchises.
When it comes to someone who's looking at investing in a franchise, because obviously franchises are good in people's minds as money-making machines. You just go in, you open a franchise, everyone knows the brand, end of story. What are things that, out of your own experience, are things that you need to consider that you don't really consider?
Well, let me put one of those things to bed. Is a franchise is not a money-making machine. It's really not a money-making machine. What you do is it's a consistent income stream. Let's put it in that sense. It's not going to it's not a real huge money spinner. So that's the first thing. But you go in and you sort of just use it to become a consistent generator of income moving forward in time.
And comparing it to owning, because obviously you own your own business as well. Yep. So if you have to say owning your own business versus owning a franchise, what are things that you would compare, and how would the one be better than the other?
Okay, firstly, Flair I started by myself. I mean, when I was 22 when I started it. So I was very, and I had just lost one restaurant as well. So I was very, very young, and I was very, very immature in a sense. And that's what a lot of entrepreneurs, you guys are talking about entrepreneurs, that's what a lot of them are nowadays. They've got disposable income or disposable money, but they don't have the expertise to do it properly. And so that's exactly what I went through. And that Flair took 4 long, hard years to get where it is today. Whereas the Steers is and a franchise, it's great in the sense that all the background, operationally, background is already set up for
all the systems.
All the systems are set up from marketing to sales to stock control, all of that.
But
sort
of course,
stuff.
You're paying a premium for that.
Yes.
You pay a monthly premium for that as a franchisee.
Franchisee.
I always get them mixed up. Here's the thing that I want to know. You've hung on to Flair throughout all of this stuff. So as difficult as it has been, there must be some kind of little carrot dangling at the end of that whole thing going, I'll just carry on. Has it been more rewarding?
Yes, in a sense it has been more rewarding.
Yeah.
And I think most entrepreneurs, and it's got nothing to do with, and this has got nothing to do with the franchise versus your own. I think as an entrepreneur, if you start something very, very small and you build it up to where it is now 4 years later, you really struggle to let that go, if you understand what I'm saying.
100%. Yeah.
Yes, so that's where I think it is more. It's not so much a carrot. It's more, you've taken this little thing and you've built it up to where it is now. You find it very, very difficult to let go of something like that.
Kavir, I've got 2 more questions for you. The first thing I want to ask very quickly, one or 2 word answer is, if you had to do it all again and you had to choose one, Flair or Steers, and I'm not talking about brands, I'm talking about what you do as an entrepreneur, what would you choose?
Flair.
You see, I thought so as well.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know that because I share the same spirit as you. I'm like, go get him. There's more money at the end of it. It's more passion. However, the safer and more reliable, as you say, that the income comes from the franchise. The second and final question is, where can we get hold of you if people want to know more about your business? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Facebook? Have you got a website? Where can we get hold of you?
I'm on Facebook, Kavir.
Yep.
You can search me up. Otherwise, you can get hold of me via email as well. It's Kavir, Kavir, at stt.co.za.
All right, cool.
And yeah, get in touch with me, and I'm more than willing to help any entrepreneurs that are struggling out there. I've been doing this for a long time. So
I know there were a lot of people who might be listening to this live or a podcast later on who'd go, gee whiz, I wonder if I could perhaps get just a cup of coffee and a chat about going forward with that.
Definitely.
That's a great help. Kavir, you're a legend, so thank you for coming in this morning.
All right.
I'm sorry that we couldn't offer you proper coffee or proper cold water, but brand new studios, so we're finding our own feet here.
Yeah, well, your studios look awesome.
Well,
Well done.
thank you, my friend.
Congratulations.
I hope
to
you're
you
not
guys.
going anywhere for just a couple of minutes.
No problem.
That is Kavir Gangiah. He is a franchise owner of Steers Restaurant in Bonaboom, and also his own restaurant called Flair. It is in Hatfield in Pretoria. Go check it out for yourself.
The Business. Weekdays 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on bulls.co.za. Brought to you by FNB Business Banking.